Welcome, mortal souls, to Strange Darkness Radio. Within the echoes of our hosts' haunting voices, terror weaves through the airwaves like a malevolent symphony. I am Benson, your spectral guide, leading you into the uncharted realms of the macabre. Brace yourself for a descent into a paranormal abyss with hosts Bobby Washington, Carolyn Grey, and Amy Tydeman. They traverse through tales that linger in the shadows, spectral apparitions, haunted domains, cryptids, and otherworldly encounters. Embrace the darkness, extinguish the lights, steel your nerves for a bone-chilling night into the heart of the unknown. It's time for Strange Darkness Radio.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh, and I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh, can you feel it coming in the air tonight?
Welcome to another episode of Strange Darkness Radio. Tonight we have a very special guest on tonight's show. And before we get into that, let's just play catch up and check in with our co-host. Again, I'm Bobby Washington, and we have...
I'm Carolyn Grey.
Amy Tydeman.
Nice. Carolyn, you broke up there a little bit, so hopefully everyone got your...
Oh, man.
But go ahead and do that again. So who's on the show tonight? Who do we have as the host?
I'm Carolyn Grey.
Okay.
Oh, man. No.
Yeah, I see. We're already going to have Skype
it up
problems. You see. It's
Maybe
okay.
you should have Benson record us or announce us from now on.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, let's just do Amy first. Amy, you go first.
Amy Tydeman.
Okay, now we're just getting ridiculous with it. Okay, but yeah.
I think they get it. I think they know who it is.
So
Yes, they know who we are.
Exactly. Carolyn is broadcasting out of her new estate somewhere, what is it, Tennessee, Alabama? Somewhere. Which one is it?
Close enough.
Okay.
I'm in South Dakota, and yes, I'm coming to you live from my new possibly haunted house.
Oh.
And I'm recording literally on the floor.
Oh,
and I'm very
man.
uncomfortable. So
okay,
What?
no wonder why
Floor.
the signal is so bad.
yeah, I hope that's not coming from me, but it very well could be. But yeah, I just don't have a good place set up yet, so I kind of had to, put some boxes on the floor, and my stuff is on top of the boxes. And
Well, thank you for doing that, Carolyn. You're
I made it work.
Exactly. You're a trooper, so I appreciate that. So yeah, now you're saying your place is haunted. Now, is this something you knew about while moving in, before moving in, or did you learn this as you have been there?
Something kind of weird happened today, but basically, first I wanted to let everybody know, you'll be excited to know that I took my Ouija board out the other night and I was playing with it. And then
wow, she's becoming a regular on the Ouija scene. What's happening?
Well, you didn't tell us about that.
No, well, it was literally like the day before yesterday, and my roommate's kids were here, and their dad went out for the night, and so his kids came into my room and they were curious, so we all sat.
Oh
on
my
Ouija
God!
board
Wait a
together.
minute. What kind of
Ouija board?
I know, I'm
with
such a
kids?
bad.
Oh my God!
I'm glad I don't have small kids. You would never watch my kids.
Does your roommate know that you did that?
Oh yeah, he knows, and
Dang,
it gets worse.
What
you
is
guys.
happening in that house? Jeez, I think we really opened up Pandora's box. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you what happened in a second, but so we were playing the Ouija board, and then these kids got so excited to go to the cemetery. I swear it was their idea.
Wait a minute, you went to a
It was not
what?
my idea.
What is happening?
You did a Ouija board and you took them to a cemetery. What kind of babysitter are you, Carolyn? Jeez Louise,
I wasn't.
Oh my God.
Hey, I was not babysitting. We were just hanging out. Okay.
We need a viewer
They're not that
discretion.
young. All right.
Well, how old are
Jesus.
they?
I want to say 8 and 12 and 14.
Okay.
but I'm not actually
I'm not going to
sure.
say anything. Okay. Yes.
I didn't take them to a cemetery. They really wanted to go. We haven't gone yet, but I told them I would take them. But anyways, so we played with the Ouija board, and then today it hit me. We never said goodbye. So we were messing with it for like a good hour almost, and we didn't put it on the goodbye when we were done. And then today, it was so weird. I was getting ready to set up for the podcast, and one of my hair ties flew at me from the corner of my room. I swear to God.
Are you serious? And nobody was playing a
Is
joke.
Is this a rubber band type?
Were they there?
It was one of these. Look.
Oh, wow.
Like a literal normal hair tie.
Yeah.
But was anyone there? Like the kids?
I think the kids were home and there were people home, but there was no one in my room with me.
It's funny how out of all of us, your mic is the one that's messing up and your audio is horrible. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Your audio is a little bit off.
This is not the first time I've recorded here, so that's kind of weird that the audio.
Well, it's probably because of the freaking Ouija board and you bringing in a new freaking crop of kids in Ouija.
I really hope not, you guys. I really hope I did not summon a demon.
Wait, but that's what you've been wanting this whole time. So what are you complaining about?
I know. You guys were so right.
Exactly.
I shouldn't.
Hang on. I think I have
never wished this upon myself.
I think I have a disclaimer.
We did try to warn Carolyn not to play with the Ouija board, but
says Amy, who's always encouraging.
They also warned me not to.
At first, we encouraged her, but then we warned her not to do it.
Melissa scared the crap out of Amy. So, which you will hear that episode, but so Amy has, had a whole new thing about going to haunted locations and messing around with Ouija boards, regardless if it's on Skype or not. But I might have a disclaimer that I need to implement for Carolyn and her Ouija board usage. So you guys will actually hear it because I will have, in post changed all that. But I will have a new Ouija board disclaimer bumper.
And some sound effects.
Yeah. Well, let me know what you want. Like, do you want like the ooh sound or don't do it, Carolyn? Like, what do you want?
Like a ghost noise, like a moan, and maybe like a creaking door.
Okay.
And like an explosion sound, obviously.
Listener discretion is advised. The following segment involves the use of a Ouija board and discussions of supernatural phenomena. Strange Darkness Radio advises you to use at your own risk. The stories and experiences shared are those of the user of the Ouija board. Proceed if you dare.
Explosion. Wow. Okay. That's funny. But you've been busy.
When I say something really like.
Oh man, I don't know. I might have to end up cutting this whole thing out. So we'll see, because I don't know if both parents were involved in this whole scenario, and so yeah, we'll talk later about this situation. But
maybe now that I'm
yes, because this has been happening lately. So yeah. Anyways, so how? Again, this is too funny.
There's no law against kids playing with Ouija boards, is there?
Both parents might want to be notified.
No,
Amy would want to be notified if she was away from her children.
I would have been.
If our kids were touching Ouija board.
Exactly. And then you took them to freaking see dead bodies. Jesus. Anyways, so that's the catch up. Everybody's doing great. Everybody's doing good. Awesome. Again, Carolyn's
no illegal activity in anyone's house. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Parker Brothers inspired. So I think it's Parker Brothers. So yes, we have a special guest, and she's waiting in the wings, listening to this stuff, saying, "What in the hell did I get myself into?" So so let's go ahead and have Benson introduce her. Here we go.
Welcome, dear listeners. I'm Benson, your spectral companion with a keen eye for the uncanny, to guide you through another installment of Strange Darkness Radio, where the shadows come alive and the whispers of the unknown beckon. Tonight, we are honored to be joined by Chelsea DeAnn, a fearless explorer of the paranormal and purveyor of all things eerie. From her earliest days, Chelsea was drawn to the macabre, finding solace in the spine-tingling tales spun by her family. As a paranormal investigator, she ventures into the darkest corners of haunted homes and forsaken prisons, seeking answers that lie beyond the veil. But Chelsea's journey into the supernatural is not merely one of curiosity. It is a quest to forge a path for women who aren't afraid to know what goes bump in the night. Growing up in a house plagued by restless spirits, she knows firsthand the chilling touch of the otherworldly. Now, as the host of the Station 59 podcast, Chelsea invites you to join her on a voyage into the unknown, where monsters lurk in the shadows and ghosts linger in the echoes of forgotten halls. Brace yourselves, dear listeners, for an evening of shadows and intrigue as we delve into the depths of Chelsea DeAnn's haunted past and unearth the secrets that lie buried in the darkness. Welcome to Strange Darkness Radio.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, no. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Your podcast is pretty amazing. So people out there, definitely go listen to Station 59. And tell us about yourself, Chelsea.
Well, I mean, you guys covered it really well there. Yeah, I'm a paranormal investigator in my free time. I also work in the paranormal as much as I can. Like, I write articles for a website and I just tell ghost stories all the time. And
Awesome.
So I decided why not start a podcast and tell ghost stories even more.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. So how did you come up with the name Station 59?
I don't even really remember. I was just thinking in terms of like a spooky old radio and like spirit boxes and things like that, how they flip through radio frequencies to get you your answers. And I was like, Station 59, I guess.
No, it's so cool.
And does the number 59, does that number mean something to you or just?
It just kind of popped in my head and I liked the ring of it. But it was really weird because now I see 59s everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting.
Like, maybe it was meant to be.
Meant to be. Yeah.
I will say it's very catchy because when I looked you up online, I remembered Station 59. So I think that was a very good idea, Chelsea.
Well, thank
That's
you.
true. So can I ask for these articles that you write? Is it kind of like you just research online or are you assigned, do you like go and actually go out in the field and investigate or both?
For the article specifically, it is primarily online stuff. I get assignments that websites want to buy, and then I will publish, or I'll write it and they'll publish it, and I get, the credit or whatever for it. But
oh, that sounds like such a fun gig. I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you stumble on that as far as just with the whole paranormal, realm? Is it something that you looked into? Were you already doing articles for something in your area? Like, how did you stumble onto doing paranormal articles?
Well, I actually applied there. Have you heard of those groups where they do like commercial ghost hunts? You buy tickets and you get to go into these locations.
Yeah.
I had applied to do some work on events with one of those companies, and they were like, "Hey, will you write for our website too?" And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool.
And what got you interested into the paranormal in general?
Well, when I was younger, my mom and my grandma and I would do like Friday night movie nights, and we would either watch the scariest movie that was out at the time, or we would watch Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, whatever. And it captured my attention so much. And I thought it would be so fun. Just, I'm 8 years old. Like, I want to go run around in this dark, creepy building. When I lived in the house that I grew up in, we had a lot of really, really crazy stuff that would happen, from the mundane to some kind of violent activity as well. We had the full spectrum.
It's time for a break. Hello, Strange Darkness Radio listeners. Do you love spine-chilling tales that keep you on the edge of your seat? Well, we have a special treat for you today. We are thrilled to announce that the legendary Jim Harold, the pioneer of paranormal podcasting, will be joining us on our next episode. And guess what? He has a brand new book out that you absolutely need to get your hands on. Introducing True Ghost Stories, Jim Harold's Campfire 6. This latest installment in the best-selling Campfire series is packed with 70 all-new hair-raising stories that will make you question every creak and shadow in your home. From haunted houses to mysterious orbs, Jim Harold's Campfire 6 has it all. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the series, this book is perfect for anyone who loves a good ghost story. Each tale is a true account from Jim's popular podcast, Jim Harold's Campfire, where real people share their most terrifying paranormal experiences. You can grab your copy of True Ghost Stories, Jim Harold's Campfire 6 in both paperback and ebook formats. Head over to jimharold.com or find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other major retailers. And for our UK listeners, it's available on amazon.co.uk as well. Don't miss out on this collection of spine-tingling stories that are perfect for a dark and stormy night. And remember, Jim Harold himself will be joining us on Strange Darkness Radio to share some of his favorite stories from the book. You won't want to miss it. So, light a candle, grab a blanket, and get ready to be spooked. True Ghost Stories, Jim Harold's Campfire 6 is out now. Get your copy today and join us for an unforgettable journey into the unknown. Catch up on our latest episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss out on the spine-chilling stories and paranormal discussions that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Follow us on TikTok and YouTube for exclusive behind-the-scenes content, teaser clips, and more. Dive deeper into the world of the unexplained with us. Join the conversation.
Violent? Like what kind of violent activity though? Oh my
goodness. Can you tell us what happened?
So one of the things that we had like a shadow figure that lived in our basement. And he was not friendly. And so he would rush you. He scratched me one time. My mom woke up getting strangled and had like hand marks around her neck.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. These are like serious things, actually. Wow. Okay. This is not like some like, oh, I saw like a shadow person in the corner. These are like actual violent things happening to you. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm sorry. Continue.
Wow.
But it wasn't all terrible. Like this sounds crazy, but I was fairly convinced that we had a portal or some sort of thinning of the veil within our house, because we would have dozens of spirits that we would encounter and all these different types of activity that would come in and out. And so like I was tucked into bed one night by something that wasn't there. And then we had all this other stuff happening on the far end of the spectrum. So,
whoa.
So you think that there were different entities like in and out? It wasn't just like one spirit haunting your house or something?
Right. Yeah.
So you would actually physically see different entities. Like what did they look like?
The one that really made himself, I say him, but the one that was the most prominent was the shadow figure. I would see it mostly in the basement, but sometimes it would venture upstairs as well. And then other things were just kind of out of the corner of your eye, or you'd have dreams about these different characters, but they just keep coming back. And then you'd see it out of the corner of your eye. It wasn't like full-bodied apparitions necessarily, but it was just like I saw that last night and then now here it is.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So, I mean, were you growing up? I mean, that happened at such a young age. Did you grow up like terrified, or was that just like something that was like, oh, okay, this is like something that happens every single night. I'm used to that.
It definitely was very, very scary. There are times where I will still have nightmares about that house in particular, where it'll be that shadow figure in the basement and I'm like reliving a memory with it. And it was terrifying. There were so many times where my parents would go out to go grocery shopping and they'd come home to find me sitting on the front porch because I couldn't be in that house anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
So have you done like any research on the history of the house, or?
Well, that's the crazy thing. It was a family home. My grandparents lived there before we did, and they bought it from the original owner. It was only built in the 70s.
Okay.
And so we don't know if it was something with the land or something that we owned, because my parents are big antique people. So I don't know if it's something they brought in. But yeah, they really had no experiences before that we knew of when my grandparents lived there. And then we moved in and it was like day one.
Wow.
So you don't feel like it's your family members haunting you, or that it was your family members haunting that house, do you?
No, it's like my grandparents, well, not anymore. At the time they were still alive. And so it was just bizarre, you know?
Interesting.
I don't know what it was, to be honest.
Do you think that it's a situation where your grandparents just kind of ignored what was going on and maybe they just never kind of realized it? Or do you think that the activity started when you moved in?
It very well could have been just ignored. My family's Catholic. And so they don't believe in that kind of thing. And that's not something you acknowledge. And so my dad was very much like, nothing's happening, nothing's going on, nothing's weird. And then only after he moved out was he kind of like, oh, yeah, things were not great in that house.
Oh, wow.
So you've had other family members acknowledge, aside from your dad too, that things were happening in that house.
Yes, my mom had experiences. And then I recently learned that my brother had similar experiences to me. Yeah. We both at one time lived in the bedroom in the basement, and we both had the same things that would happen in there.
Oh, that's creepy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was mostly just the basement then.
The basement was definitely like the epicenter.
Oh,
like
it's kind of like the haunting in Connecticut house, like where it's just a portal in
the basement.
Well, yeah, in that case it was a morgue.
Yeah.
But just that it's more like a portal situation where you've got different energies, different entities. It's not like someone specific died in that house, or it's not like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: the whole tucking in. And you said you actually stayed in the bed, then, something actually physically tucked you in?
Yeah, I had come home and it was broad daylight. I came home from school and I was going to take a nap because I'm a high schooler, so why not? And I got into bed and I didn't pull any covers up. I just kind of laid my head down. And the next thing I know, I've got a blanket tucked over me and I feel someone pat my shoulder. And I think that my mom came in and was like seeing me trying to take a nap, whatever. I sit up, my room is empty.
Oh, and you weren't like a little kid at that time. You were in high school.
Yeah, I was like a freshman or sophomore.
Oh, wow.
But it sounds like it was a good experience.
Yeah, that was very sweet. It was unnerving, but
yeah. I would have ran. I would have been on the porch again. I mean, that's wild.
What scares me more than anything is when I see videos of someone's in their home and they hear a voice calling their name. Did anything like that ever happen to you? Yeah, or like saying hi and trying to speak to you.
Yes, I have one particular memory, and it wasn't anything that I could discern, but I was sitting upstairs. My parents were both down. We had like a finished living room in the basement, so they were down there. And I could hear like a whispering in like the corner, and then it'd be in the other corner, and then it'd be in the other corner. And then all of a sudden, right in my ear, I just heard like something. I couldn't make out what it was saying, but it was right in my ear. I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. So I ran downstairs, and my mom specifically, I remember her saying, you look like you've seen a ghost. It's like, you have no idea.
Did they not believe you, or your dad didn't believe you, or like what was the situation with that? Did they, as you were telling them all these things that were happening to you?
They definitely, I was met with some pushback at first. And then as things started happening more and more to my mom, she got on board. Like there were times where we'd hear something moving in the other room and I'd go grab her really quick and be like, you have to hear this.
Yeah.
And finally she started coming around. My dad never really admitted to anything until he was touched at the dinner table. And you couldn't get past the reaction that he had.
Yeah.
Oh, you were there when it happened?
Yeah, we were all sitting at the dinner table. I was directly across from him. And all of a sudden he just goes white in the face. And you can he straightens up and he's looking over his shoulder. And he didn't say anything at the time. But then my mom asked him about it later and he goes, something clapped me on the shoulder.
Wow.
Oh my God.
But it sounds like you were like the main person that was seeing like all of these entities and having these creepy experiences, right?
I do feel like I kind of experienced the brunt of it. I have a personal belief about that, and that I think children, younger folks, adolescents are more sensitive. And I am still sensitive now. And I don't know if it's because of being so in tune with it as a child that I just kind of kept it. But yeah, I think I was just more aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're, I gather from your podcast that you aren't super Catholic, but you were raised Catholic or your family's very Catholic. So how did that have any effect on you growing up? Or like, did that, change your opinion about the paranormal or just get you more interested, or how did that affect your beliefs and what you believe today?
I would say the paranormal activity that I experienced as growing up definitely pushed me along my path to deconstruction. I have fully left the religion, and it was a big thing because I kept being told that these things can't be happening to me because it's not within the Catholic faith. I'm like, but I know for a fact that it is happening to me. So if that's not within this realm of belief, then maybe that's not my realm of belief.
Yeah.
That's interesting because, I mean, like, isn't the Catholic religion, they're involved in like exorcisms, and I mean, it seems like more so than other religions, like Catholicism is actually into like, just don't they have like people that work, like they worked with the Warrens, demonologists. So, I don't hear about too many other churches doing that kind of stuff. So that's really interesting coming from Catholicism.
Yeah, I always thought it was very, not to touch too much on like, religion, but I always thought it was very hypocritical. And it was just like, it was always taught to me, demons are real, demons can affect you. Like I was told you shouldn't sleep on a floor because a demon can come up into you because you're more easily accessible. Like we were that.
That makes sense.
Superstitious.
Tonight's
Do you know
show.
how many times I've fallen asleep on the floor? Okay.
Right.
I won't ever fall asleep on the floor ever again. Okay, thank you.
I always just thought it was weird that we can have demons, but we can't have other types of spirits, know?
Ah.
Yeah, they're very strict on what they believe. So yes, they might believe in demonic entities, but that's their explanation then for every paranormal thing that ever happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a thing.
So we couldn't have a demon in our house because we were good Catholics. So there couldn't have been anything there, and there was.
Very interesting.
Wow, that's extremely interesting, man.
Well, so do you mind if I kind of switch topics here? And so I know one thing that you mentioned was that you do paranormal investigations. Now, I know you do research for your writing projects and for your podcast, but when you say paranormal investigations, what kind of investigations are we talking?
So I like to travel and go to different locations, and I, as much as I can, stay overnight in them, and I take all of my equipment that I have and try to capture evidence and have experiences.
Oh, that sounds fun. And have you ever captured anything good?
Yeah, actually, I got a figure on an SLS camera at Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where's that?
That is in Weston, West Virginia.
So do you literally travel the whole country, or do you kind of stay local to where you are, or both?
Typically, I stick to the Midwest. I live in Iowa, so I stay around here for the most part. But when I can afford to, I venture out. Last year, I took a road trip to 4 or 5 different locations around like West Virginia, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, did like the circuit and came back. And it was so much fun.
And so do you mind sharing like a couple locations that you've been to that
I've been to Missouri State Penitentiary. That is probably my favorite place I've ever investigated. I've also been to West Virginia Penitentiary and Trans-Allegheny. Waverly Hills Sanatorium was really fun as well.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Did you have any experiences at Waverly?
I did. I got touched at Waverly.
Oh, wow.
What?
Oh
my God, that's creepy.
It was crazy. Yeah.
No, I've always wanted to go to Waverly. You hear about that that's one of like the top haunted places you ever hear about. So that's interesting. Wow.
Is that the one that's in Pennsylvania, or where's Waverly?
That one is in Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky. Okay. Yeah, I've heard the name before, but I know there are so many like sanatoriums and prisons and, penitentiaries. I think we actually did an episode about Missouri State Penitentiary. So I know that place has got a really dark past.
It does very much, yes.
Now, you're not going to these places by yourself, are you?
No, I have a little crew that I take with me. My best friends and I go out and do it together.
Okay, cool.
So fun.
And that's half the fun of it too, is just having my best friends with me. And when it's 2 a.m. and nothing's happened for 3 hours and it's dark and you're tired, we can just goof off with each other and like bring the spirit back up.
Yeah.
You're so lucky to have friends who are into that stuff with you. All of my friends just make fun of me, and like none of them are into it, except obviously Bobby and Amy, but then I moved away, so now we can't do anything.
You live too far, Carolyn. Otherwise, you'd be doing all that stuff all the time.
No,
I know, it
Amy's
sucks.
too scared. So you go into these locations because, again, Amy's, kind of hemming and hawing about it now as far as, safety reasons.
Only recently, just because we were, so Chelsea, just some background. I have always wanted to do ghost hunting. Like that is one of my number one bucket list items, but we just recently had a very, very renowned local psychic and ghost hunter, demonologist on our show, which has not aired yet, but she gave us a very stark warning that if you're going to go out and do this stuff, you need to know what you're doing, because you are just inviting spirits to come back and follow you. And I am not about to have like, spirits come back to my house, so what she said really made me think, okay, it's not as simple as just going out there and having fun. Like you need to think about what you're doing. You don't know what's going to follow you home. Yeah. Like, okay, maybe one time you got lucky here. Next time, maybe not so lucky. And you're going to regret it.
That's an interesting point. So is there anything you guys do when you go out to these haunted locations to kind of like protect yourselves, or do you do any like little prayer circles before you go in, or?
I have always been a believer in kind of like white magic. So even when I was into still in Catholicism, we were taught something very, very similar, which is that you imagine a white light or a purple light or whatever light that you want surrounding you, filling your body and spreading out. So that's one thing if you believe in that sort of thing, like energy work. Also, I like to set boundaries with spirits and like come in straight off the bat, be like, hey, my name is Chelsea. I'm going to be doing this tonight. You can talk to us. You can touch us. When we leave, you stay here. You cannot come with us.
Yeah.
You're okay with them touching you?
Well, I gotta get some kind of experience.
You cannot touch me.
Amy's
Amy,
like, I am here.
Reason,
do not come near me. Do not present yourself. I'm just here to look around.
Amy,
you can present yourself as an orb, but do not touch me.
Only come to me in orb form.
Yeah, the whole reason is to see if it's
Amy's got
to
rules.
have the experience, Amy. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. So, in going to all these locations, Chelsea, have anything ever came home with you? Which I don't even know if you would know based upon you've had all kind of different experiences. But But have you been clear? Do you clear yourself out to where you haven't had any issues with bringing something in, home with you?
I really haven't had any issues with that. There's been a couple of times where I've questioned, I'm kind of someone that believes if you speak to something enough times that it's going to give it more credence. Mm-hmm. And so I speak out loud all the time. My house is not haunted. My house does not have spirits. Nice. And I haven't had any issues. Yeah. I just moved into a new place a couple of years ago, so no issues here.
Cool. Yeah, and that's what I think for the most part. I think you go out with good intentions, and again, you're not. I don't know if you go out and what your investigative style is, as far as are you egging on the entity to do something, or are you being respectful and just exploring? Because again, my whole thing with going, especially to asylums or places that I do not want to be, and nor would I normally go there just to go to a prison to meet violent prisoners. I don't want to do it even in the afterlife, meaning if I do, I'm going there just to see if there is something, otherworldly that's still attached to this plane that we can still, talk to and correspond with. So that's why I'm, going there, because a lot of times, a lot of people will go to these locations with just, they're egging on whatever entity they're, berating people or the knowledge that they have that they researched on just to try to get something to happen, opposed to just letting it naturally play out. Mm-hmm. And, so what's your investigative style?
I definitely try to approach with respect for the location that I'm in, respect for the people that run the location I'm in, and respect for the spirits. Like they were people, and sometimes they made bad decisions. Sometimes they were locked up because they had depression, depends on where you're at. But regardless, I think I approach every person, regardless of on who they are, with respect. And I would do no different just because they passed on. Yeah. And so I don't like to try to antagonize. If they don't want to do something, who am I to make them?
Exactly. No, that's so true. That is definitely true. Have you ever done a live podcast at, one of these locations?
I have not. I've had a couple of people ask me about that. I just don't know how I would make the logistics of it work. Yeah. But I am trying to venture into YouTube videos and recording my investigations. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that's something I've got on the horizon.
Nice. How about EVPs in these locations? Have you gotten a lot of different EVPs?
I don't get a ton of EVPs, but I have gotten quite a bit of spirit box activity. Okay. And that's... Once I start being able to record that, then it'll be a little, I think there'll be more weight to it where I can be like, see, this thing happened. Yeah. But we've definitely had some very, very clear responses on Spirit Box before.
Oh, nice.
Like what?
So in Missouri State, there is this one particular area where they're known for playing Marco Polo. And if you call out Marco, sometimes you get a disembodied voice that will answer. And so we were trying to do that. And we had the spirit box running just in case. And for whatever reason, every location we go to, the spirits love Ashley. She's their favorite. Yeah, they are mean to her, but they only talk to her.
Target her.
They call her annoying. They've called her gross. They've called her dumb. They called her an imbecile.
Wait, they don't really love her, then they despise her.
They won't talk to anybody else, though. They just talk to her.
So how do you know they're talking to her? Is it like she's the one that's talking to them?
And then are they talking to you, Chelsea?
You're just blaming it on.
There was a time, though, before the Marco Polo, there was a time that Ashley burped on it because it's like 4 a.m, whatever. Yeah. And of course, immediately Spirit Box comes through. Disgusting.
Wow.
That is funny. Oh my gosh.
That's incredible.
But we were doing Marco Polo, and I called Marco, no response. Amber calls Marco, no response. Ashley calls Marco. Within a second, we get this very quick Polo in this very gruff, deep voice. I was like,
on the actual Spirit Box?
On the Spirit Box. I was like, I don't really want to play Marco Polo anymore.
Fascinating.
See, I would not play that game. That's over the line for me. Like, that's
Wait a minute.
creepy.
Wait a minute.
Play Ouija board in your personal residence, but you will not play Marco Polo
with some kids you just found.
Not with some ghosts. I didn't just find them.
I don't know. They seem to
we met one time before.
Exactly. They seem to have popped up. You're like, hey, let's go find some demons.
They wanted to play.
That's too funny.
No, you wanted to play.
Wow.
That reminds me. So, Chelsea, have you delved into Ouija board activity then?
I have never experimented with a Ouija board. I had a friend at one point that it was New Year's Eve. She decided to break out a Ouija board, and I left because I was so uncomfortable.
So you don't mess with Ouija boards.
I don't, and I would really. And it's part of me thinks that it is just kind of for fun, and you get out of it what you want to get out of it. At the same time, I don't. Because of what happened in my house growing up, I don't want to test it.
Yeah, I get it.
Makes
I get that. I think that's part of the reason why I am willing to play with them, because I really just don't buy into it, if I'm being honest.
You think it's fake or something?
I don't think it's fake. I just think that, I don't really believe that you can like summon a demon through a Ouija board, or that you're, maybe in very, very rare circumstances, but I think that everything has to be, I think that the setting has to be just right, and there have to be specific things that all come together. I don't think that you can just whip out a Ouija board anywhere and summon a demon.
Carolyn, when you have experimented, you will agree that you were not consciously trying to move your fingers.
Yeah, but I think there could be other explanations for that too.
You think maybe subconsciously, like you were just doing it not on purpose, but maybe subconsciously.
Not even subconsciously. I think when your arms are just relaxed, they're going to move a little bit. So I don't know. I'm not saying that the results are fake. I'm not necessarily saying that. I just don't think that they're as dangerous as everyone thinks they are. And I also think,
everyone, I just want to announce that Carolyn announced herself as a psycho like 2 episodes ago. Because we asked who is evil here, and she unconsciously called herself out. So just want everyone to know that
was subconscious. That was my Freudian slip.
Who is the most evil person here? And it went to Carolyn. Nobody else.
Somebody evil would say that about the Ouija board,
I'm not necessarily saying that results are fake. I'm just saying that I don't think they're that dangerous. I think that in order to be dangerous, you have to be in like a location where the veil is thin. I think that something bad has to be lurking around. Like, I don't think you can just take a Ouija board out anywhere and plop it down and play it, and that it's going to be inviting something.
Yeah, but you don't know the history of where you're playing that Ouija board, or like the houses that you played in. You technically don't know.
No, you're right. Crazy. You're right. And I am a little bit creeped out about the hair tie thing from earlier. So I am wondering if.
And just because of that, everybody, I really hope something happens to Carolyn to make her believe.
Always wishing ill on me, Amy.
That is hilarious.
Nothing horrible, people. I don't mean anything evil. I just mean, like, I hope she gets what she wants.
I already believe.
That is too funny.
No, I don't want anything to happen to Carolyn. I love Carolyn. I want her to get the paranormal. I want her to.
You want me to be scared to death? I get it.
Yeah, no,
it's like a prank.
Well, I know Bobby wants that too, because he wants you to come on the show and talk about it.
No, here's my thing. Here's my thing with Carolyn. Things will happen to her because she says so much that she wants experiences, whether it's an entity appearing in front of her, whether it's something moving, something whispering in her ear, all these things that take place, right? Things will happen to her, but she will brush it off as something else. Just as she said, she played with a Ouija board, right? In this new home that she just moved to, she has hair ties flying around. She has all kind of different wave things happening in her home when it comes to her audio. And she thought her mic was totally crap, which is it's not. And so again, I think there are things there, but you're kind of
electronics do shut down for no reason.
That's
too.
what I'm saying. You kind of brushing them
In
off.
this house.
The stress and anxiety, like the psychic we talked to, if you are stressed and anxious, you draw that to you. So it could be that.
I'm the one shutting off my laptop.
Nah,
Bobby's
I go to the Ouija board
could be that.
situation. But yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Wow. Okay.
Anyways, back to Chelsea.
Anyway, yes,
podcast.
I'm sorry, Chelsea.
You're so
And that
nice.
was Carolyn.
Okay, Chelsea, I do have one for you. Now, some people do say that using a spirit box is like using a Ouija board. It's just in a different format. What do you think about that? What's your views on that?
I think it's a little bit different, only in that when you're using a Ouija board, you are essentially connecting your own physical energy to this device and then inviting a spirit to connect their physical energy to that device.
Yeah.
Whereas a spirit box, you're just saying, speak into this thing, but I'm not giving it power. Like the electricity is giving it power. The batteries are giving it power.
Exactly.
Whereas with a Ouija board, I'm the one providing the power.
It's providing the energy.
Exactly.
Exactly. Perfect sense. That the logic is solid. I totally agree with that. Do you use any other devices? Because you're right. It's like with a spirit box, you're asking the energy to, or whatever you believe it is, spirits, to manipulate the machine. Mm-hmm. But it's not connecting directly with you. What other little gadgets do you use, or like what do you do on these paranormal investigations? What is your process, I guess?
So our favorite thing to do is do just a walkthrough at first. And if someone is there to tell us, history, activity, things like that, then we love to just go through, learn as much as we can. Then we'll go through, turn all the lights off. And I like to do a baseline EMF read. And so then if anything spikes later, we know, we marked this area and it does this, like there's an exposed wire or something. Whereas we're like in a basement underground, there's no electricity, and the EMF, I can't talk, I'm so sorry. The EMF goes off and it's like, nothing logically could be causing this. So now we know that there's probably something here to investigate, look further into. So that's kind of like the beginnings, but we do EMF. I've got an SLS camera app. It's not like the full-blown camera, but it's pretty reliable. I've gotten really cool stuff on that. And then Spirit Box, of course, cat balls, and we just got a REM pod and kind of like an Ovilus, where it's a word bank device, and we're really excited to try that one out.
Nice. Yeah, you guys have the whole.
What is that? I've never heard of
kit.
Oh, sorry, Bobby.
Oh no, go ahead.
What is the obelisk thing that you said? I've never heard of that.
So it's kind of like a digital word bank. And so the idea is that it works very similarly to a spirit box, where the spirits can manipulate it to say what they want it to say. But instead of guessing at the words that you're hearing in spirit box, it writes it out for you. And so you can see what they're saying.
Oh, I see. Like it shows you the word that it's saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I have seen those.
Nice. So to get I want to transition back a little bit to your podcast, because again, it's done so well. So you are the host, producer, creator, you know, everything when it comes to your podcast, correct?
I am. Yeah. I even made the music at the beginning and end.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
You do everything.
Yeah.
Talented.
Yes.
Thank you.
Where were you when I was looking for someone to help me on my show? No, I'm just joking.
Wait, my resume.
Bobby.
Amy's the only
Carolyn,
one who caught that. Exactly.
Right.
Nice.
Maybe
Nice.
Chelsea should join the show.
Yeah, no, she has a bunch of.
Amy,
She has her
you're
own
so
show.
funny.
But
We
no,
were all
I-
thinking it now.
Yeah.
the quality of your show is
So
amazing.
that's very
So,
cool, Chelsea.
yeah.
Thank you.
I think.
How long
I think
have you been Oh, I'm sorry, Bobby. Are you talking?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I just want to get this across because one thing I love about your show, and again, how you remind me of Carolyn, you're very honest about what you do on your show, as far as whether or not you have time to put out one, whether or not you have covered whatever particular subject, or how much of that you actually covered. And a lot of people, when they're doing a podcast, they kind of keep all those things hidden and act like they've done months and years of research on something to talk about a particular subject. So I love the honesty of what you do and how you come across on your podcast.
Yeah, you're very real. Like, you can tell you're just yourself. Your personality shines through, and you don't care too much about being everything, I guess by a script or by the book or whatever. You're very personable on your podcast.
I appreciate that. I try not to sound like a robot. I really try to just be me. And I like my show to feel like we're just two pals hanging out and telling each other scary stories. And that's the vibe I've tried to embody from the start.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly
I appreciate you saying that.
Oh, no, that's pretty cool. I think so.
How long have you been doing your podcast?
So I started in late 2022, but I didn't start regularly posting until like mid 23. But I've been trying to do weekly episodes for about, I think I'm at like 35 episodes that have been posted regularly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You and me both. I've gotten it down to every 2 weeks. And then when I got Amy to come on, then it got down to once a week, because we did the bonus episodes and, the every 2 weeks. And so now I do have a new bonus co-host. And so hopefully I can get those going to where we actually have one every week. So yeah, on that same.
But it is tough it's tough to stay to a schedule like that. Like, it takes dedication and passion. You have to be really, really into it.
For sure.
And I think that all comes through in your podcast too. You can tell just how much you love it and how interested you are in the topics, because it's so well researched and still so natural, like we were saying.
Oh my goodness, you're buttering me up.
No, for real. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Everyone go check out Chelsea's podcast, by the way. We're going to plug it one more time while we're on the subject. No, it's Station definitely. 59. Where do you mostly post? I mean, it's not on YouTube, is it? Like, I know you have a few.
Yeah, I'm starting to try to do my uploads on YouTube as well. I'm trying to get my back catalog up, but it is turning out to be a real pain in the rear. But I'll get there eventually. And then mostly people find me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, but I am available on just about everything, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we were looking through your YouTube, and I only saw a couple of videos. I was like, she's got to have more episodes than this.
Yes, I do. I've got 41 episodes live right now.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot. That's really good, actually. Yeah. For you. So what is on the horizon going forward for you? Do you have like any plans that you want to talk about, or any exciting news you want to break on this episode?
Sure, yeah. I have a couple more investigations coming up that I'm really, really excited for. So next month, May, I am going to I'm going back to Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. And this time, rather than just being there for a couple of hours, I will be there the entire night until 6 a.m. So I'm very, very excited for that.
It's amazing.
And then in July, I'm actually leading my first public hunt. Ooh. And that will be at Missouri State Penitentiary.
Scary.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. So how many people are joining that, or are you still setting that up, or how did you even go about setting that up?
So this is through one of those companies that does this full-time sort of thing, but they have brought me on as their expert paranormal investigator. Mm-hmm. And there'll be two to three, I think, other professional, calling myself a professional is a strong term, but other professional expert investigators, and we'll split up into groups and take on the different buildings, and we'll be there all night as well. I'll be there till 6 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So will you be documenting this and recording this, and can we watch this maybe live, or how? Yeah.
I won't be able to record the one at Missouri State, but I am going to try to record as much as I can of the one at Trans-Allegheny. And that I got some really, really cool evidence the first time we went. So I'm hoping we get some good activity this time too.
Where is Trans-Allegheny?
Oh,
sorry.
What
state is that?
West Virginia.
Okay.
I'm sorry, where?
West Virginia.
Oh, okay. That sounds very exciting. So I can't wait to actually see that and see what kind of evidence that you get from that.
Yeah.
Research. Yeah. Good for
I'm
you.
excited too.
So on your past investigations that you've gotten footage on, are you going to post that on your YouTube channel?
I have actually never recorded before.
Oh, wow.
So this is going to be my first time. Yeah, I've always kind of thought about, I think I'm going to start posting video podcast. But I've always been kind of hesitant just because as much as I do want to be kind of on, in the process, I don't know how I'm trying to say this, part of this female community building within the paranormal, I just don't want necessarily my face to be my brand.
Yes.
And so I've never gone too far into video stuff, but it seems like the way to go. So
yeah, no, but
start doing that.
even from the standpoint of when you're recording the Ovilus or the Spirit Box or any of those particular tools that you're using, but are you recording them live to where, when it's happening, and that way you have that evidence that you can go back and play, whether it's for yourself to make sure you got it, or whether it's to, put up on YouTube that is just that particular, situations that occur.
For sure, yeah. And we have digital recorders that we use a lot. Yeah. But they don't always pick up everything.
Oh, okay.
And so I've got a pretty decent camera that I'm going to start bringing with and just using it even for flash photography and just trying to see what all we can capture using that as well.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes cameras can capture things that you won't see with your naked eye. So I think it's definitely a good idea, even if you just want to put one in a random room somewhere and just aim it at a hallway and just keep it there recording. Yeah. Or if you want to record yourself and what you're doing the whole time. But I think that would be so cool. And I think that anyone who listens to your podcast would definitely be interested to see that.
Yeah. Definitely going to look into that more and see what I can figure out, because I don't want to put out subpar content just to have content out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to have to do some test runs before I
exactly.
take it to Trans-Allegheny.
It's so funny because I have a bunch of equipment that I bought just for a ghost investigation, which we haven't even done yet. But I have a bunch of equipment that I purchased, and it's more so to record the situation to where I'm like, okay, did that really happen? Let me go back and listen to, this on X, Y, and Z, opposed to questioning myself, was it, an animal, or was it, something that, was it someone's even stomach growling or something, just some weird situation where you go back and you're like, okay, let me replay that just to make sure of what we heard. And sometimes, I've seen to where you'll even capture something and, but it wasn't captured on the recording, but you heard it live. So that sometimes happen also, but yeah, so I'm gearing up for that standpoint.
Going through all that footage can be rough though, and you must know this too from your experience that, 98% of these ghost hunts are pretty boring. Nothing is usually happening.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when something does happen, you just mark it. In your recording, you say mark, or you say something particular so that way you can go back to that particular, point in time just to
if something really obvious happens, you can always refer back to that. But I just mean if you record an entire night out and then you have to go through all that footage just to look for shadows or just see things that you might have missed in the moment.
Yeah, for sure. No,
the last time we did our digital recorder, we were trying to go through it. We had maybe 2 hours just of digital recordings. Yeah. My poor friend Amber had to sit down and listen through the whole thing because it's hard to speed through it. You might miss it.
Exactly.
So you have to listen to it in real time.
Yep.
And she's like, it's just you guys talking about how you need to go to the bathroom every 20 minutes.
You know what's so funny? I'm so used to that, coming from music background in editing and everything. But even doing the show, it's like before I put out a show, I probably listen to that show maybe 10 times, and especially in the editing process, I don't speed through my edits. So I'm meticulously going through a lot of different things. And so that's why, like, I can honestly say, and I've said this numerous times, that, because you can get EVPs as you have certain guests on. And it's only happened with the guest Silver Rain that we've gotten EVPs that will come through. And what I mean by that is that when we ask her a question, at the time it was just me and Carolyn, or Tony at the time, but something would respond to the question being asked before she answered. And then as I'm editing it, it doesn't show up in my editing software, but I just hear it clearly and loud. But there's no grasp on what I'm seeing. So it's really odd, but those things do take place and can happen. And so I'm always listening for all these voices to reach out, when I'm even just editing the show. So
for sure.
Yeah, the things that we can capture with these devices these days are incredible. So there are things out there that are, trying to reach out.
For sure.
Yeah. And you never know. I mean, you never know when you might have captured something and then missed it in real life. So you have to go back and look.
Yeah.
Chelsea, like, what is your future endeavors when it comes to your podcast? Like, what do you, and I know you were talking about empowering women and that whole aspect of podcasting from a woman's standpoint. So how is that all working out for you?
I think it's been going really great. I've made a lot of really cool connections through doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And just finding people like you guys even that are willing to elevate my voice and give me a platform to advertise myself on, essentially. Yeah. And just building the community is like my favorite thing to do. I've made a couple of really, really good close friends through doing this now. And it's great. I love to do that. Just continue building a community to talk to about these kinds of crazy things, and maybe I'll get to a point where it can be a career option, really, where like working within the paranormal and doing or content creation, whatever it may be. And yeah, it's something that brings me a lot of joy, and we could all use more of that. So I'm just going to keep doing whatever, I guess.
No, definitely. And again, your podcast is incredible. And even, as a person who's been doing podcasting for a long time, and the whole thing of editing, like you said, you do your own music, you doing your own, again, I don't know how much you edit. Hopefully you don't have to edit much. But just the whole process of producing a show and having that under your belt, and just being a woman of power and doing it because you have a focus, you have a vision, and then you just make it happen. I think that's incredible.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, definitely.
And if you ever come out this way to do a ghost hunt, please let me know, because like I said, none of my friends are interested. It's just me.
We'll find somewhere to meet in the middle, and we'll make it happen.
Just make sure she's not telling the
I'm so down.
I think Missouri is between us. We could always go there.
Just really figure something out.
Missouri State.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be interesting. I might have to fly in for that. But yeah. I don't know if I can go to a state prison though. I don't know. That would be
what?
Yeah.
Why not?
I'd have to, because I've never been on a investigation. So I need to start like very small spaces. Like the kids you took to the cemetery. I need to probably go, those small little baby steps before I get into the big game. I didn't
take any kids to a cemetery.
I don't know what you've done, but he said yeah. But no, I'm saying like that to me is like the big leagues when you're hitting the state prisons and all those those places. So
I feel like that's a good place. I mean, I feel like I'd rather go to an old prison than like a sanatorium or something, or like a hospital, or I I don't know.
I'm at hospitals all the time. I can do hospitals.
You take the prison over like a sanatorium or hospital? I don't know.
Yeah, because
like
people
related. They're both like kind of
depressing and horrible.
Craziness and bad energy, I think.
That's true. I guess prisons are pretty miserable. People that are pretty crazy.
I know a really great small county jail that's haunted that I stayed the night in. It's super cute. They're not mean there necessarily.
So cute. Like prison?
Dang, she said I stayed the night.
That was super cute.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
So you're good. It's the Squirrel Cage Jail in Iowa, or Pottawatomie County Jail.
Oh, it sounds cute.
It's adorable.
How does this sound cute, Carolyn?
It's a girl prison. It's called Squirrel Gate. You know where Bobby should start? Bobby should really check out that clown hotel that you did an episode about.
Oh,
I
Nevada.
had heard of that place before.
Yes, I know about
go
that.
there.
I think
it's not that far away.
Ghost Adventures did
so
something
creepy
there. Yeah, I don't think that would be a good spot. You would go there, Amy? Clowns?
So you're gonna go on crazy ghost hunts, but you won't go stay at a ghost hotel. Like, what are your priorities here?
A clown ghost hotel.
I would probably stay there. Yes, I would, but not alone. Has to be somebody else with me.
Yeah, I don't know about clowns.
I would stay there. I'm not scared of clowns.
I don't even think I'm ready to do an overnight investigation at all. Anyways, it would have to be just a couple of hours. You know.
Oh, here we go.
Once the witching,
I got so much crap about. Oh, you won't do this, you won't do that, but look who won't do a clown hotel.
Yeah, I don't know about a clown hotel.
You're the one who always wants to go to like the cemetery and whatever and do some recording. Wait, how is that any better?
Which one?
Bobby.
Yeah,
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
That is different.
Yeah, he's giving me a bad time.
No,
but
that's
look,
different.
look at him.
Yeah, no, that's a little different. One, I would just be there for a couple of hours, and then I'd be like, okay, out. I'm out. But I wouldn't be spending the night. And two, it'd be local. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
What difference does that make?
Right, exactly.
If it's overnight,
we're gonna have a conversation about this after the show. But
I don't know. You might fall asleep and wake up in a dream that you're actually in hell, and it's actually real. So you never know. Like I would never want to fall asleep. Chelsea, answer that. Have you ever slept at these places? Have you ever fell asleep?
Not on an investigation, but I have stayed the night in a few different haunted hotels.
Okay, the haunted hotel is a little different because you know you're going to go to sleep, so it's a little different.
It's still a hotel.
At these locations, you fall asleep and then you're smack dab in the middle of a dream being chased by some crazy person. That would be something
you
that I
already
would
live
do.
in hell in California.
Well, I don't know.
Hey. California is gorgeous. I love California. Come on now.
Gotcha.
Aside from the prices, it's the most beautiful state.
Beaches in the water.
You got mountains, you got the ocean, you got sunshine. Come on now.
Yeah. I know, but they ruin it. The prices.
Yeah,
I know.
The traffic.
That's okay. Yes. Aside from those, it's the most beautiful state ever.
I agree, Carolyn.
It is pretty. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Well, again, Chelsea, thank you for joining us on tonight's show. Hopefully we weren't too crazy with everything. But can you give everyone your Instagrams and socials? That way they can hit you up and like and subscribe.
Totally. My Instagram and Facebook are both at Station 59 Podcast. And then I have a TikTok as well, which is just Station 59 Pod. Okay. And then my email account, I always have that open so that people can send me requests, or if they just want to chat about something I've talked about, then you can find me at station59pod@gmail.com.
Perfect. All righty, ladies, you guys have any further questions?
I don't think I have any questions, but I thought this was a lot of fun, Chelsea. I love what you're doing. Love that you're trying to empower women and get more women into this. Like, that is awesome. Love that you're real on your podcast. So, no, you are awesome. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much
I
for
just love
having
your
me.
podcast. Like, sincerely, it's a really good podcast.
Oh, it's really good.
You do a good job with it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys having me. This was so much fun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Definitely for
it
joining
was.
us. Awesome. All right, we are out.
Bye. Bye.
As your journey through the shadow realms of Strange Darkness Radio concludes, remember that you unlock the door to the paranormal with the key of imagination. Beyond it lies another dimension, a dimension of eerie soundscapes, chilling sights, and the profound depths of the mind. You're venturing into a land of both haunting shadows and tangible substance, where the ethereal meets the corporeal, and ideas take on a spectral form. You've just crossed over into the Strange Darkness Radio Zone. In the vast expanse of the paranormal, there exists a fifth dimension, extending beyond the known realms of our understanding. It is a dimension vast as the cosmos and eternal as infinity, a mysterious terrain between the illumination of light and the depths of shadow. This is the middle ground between the empirical and the supernatural, where fears fester in the pit of humanity's soul and knowledge ascends to its zenith. Welcome to the dimension of imagination, an area we dub the Strange Darkness Radio Zone. As you conclude your journey with us, remember that you're departing this peculiar zone, a place where reality intertwines with the surreal. Be cautious as you step out, for you may find that the boundaries between the normal and the paranormal blur, leaving you forever in the lingering embrace of the unknown. Until next time, farewell from the depths of the Strange Darkness Radio Zone.